Listen, if you've been in a place where you have been asking God, why am I going through all these things? Why is every part of my life being touched in some capacity? I have a promise from the Lord that I want to share with you today. Keep watching. Alrighty, y'all, so we just got finished with the New Year Now series, and I was like, okay, what is going to be the next series? I don't know. I don't really have to flow in the series, but I just tried something out. But there is something that the Lord was really tugging at my heart this week, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna share this, and if a new series comes, great. If not, we're just gonna share what the Lord places on my heart over here, okay? Alrighty, y'all, so the word reset, that thing, like, I literally, it stopped me in my tracks, because I realized that, whoa, God, my life really has been in a reset. And he had spoke the word to me at night as I was going to bed. So I was like, okay, bet. So in the morning when I have my devotional time, I'm going to study the word reset. And so there are multiple definitions, and I want to share them with you. So the first definition was to set again or set differently. I'm like, okay, bet. The next one was, I gotta read this one to y'all because maybe y'all can relate to this. Maybe this spoke to you all, but that thing hit me. It says, an instance of causing a device to return to its original settings or to the numeral 0. Crazy. Next is to begin to do things differently after a period of rest or change. And I don't know about y'all, but all three of those really spoke to what my life has looked like recently. And then I was like, you know what? God, this year has been a year. I normally take dedicated time to write out my wins for the year, lessons that I learned, some L's that I had to take, and how I want to move forward differently. I haven't yet done that, but man, since October, I've been in this place of reflection, and I'm like, okay, this has been quite the year, Lord, and you have been speaking to me in different ways within just how my life has gone this year. So to give you a little backstory, to give you a little of what's happening in my life, earlier this year, I can't even remember January, February, but I think it was around March when I had this went in to get my Invisalign back situated, and they took a look at a tooth and decided that, long story short, it needed to be looked at, and that eventually I would need a root canal. That led me to being on pain meds for 30 days in a row. I don't do medicine. It is my last resort if I have to. But to be on pain meds for 30 days, I mean, screaming, crying out to the Lord to take the pain away, because they say that toothache pain is literally like, is it worse than childbirth or what? I don't know, but it definitely ranks, because I wanted to be removed from my body. It was that bad. And then we got into a car accident, which caused our car to be totaled. And this car, we've had it for like the last, I don't know, almost 10 years. So coming to Tulsa from Florida, it was like my last piece of Florida. So that was a thing. And then we ended up getting 2 cars. So my dad blessed me with another car. And then all of a sudden, the car that we replaced, it started getting shaky, and the engine light came on, and then the other car started acting up. So now every day for months, literally driving by faith, I was doing that. And then on top of that, during our conference time, our house flooded. The washing machine literally flooded the house, which caused us to have to get our floors repaired, and that is where I am this week. So my husband did all the things, called the people, insurance and all those things, and this was the week before Thanksgiving, that we decided to get our floors repaired. And it really took me for a loop, because I'm like, I literally just want to rest. It has been a season. Not only that, in my current job, I work in ministry, and I was doing a particular thing beforehand. I had a different set of responsibilities. I oversaw a number of teams at one point when I first got here. Then we restructured. We had some things change, and it was great. And I really felt like I had a season of rest because I was doing so much. And then those responsibilities return to my plate. And so when I tell you every single one of those definitions have spoken to me, they have spoken to me. But I want to share what it may look like for you if you're in a divine reset, and what you should do while you're there. All right, so if you're wondering if you're in a time of reset, or you're like, man, I really need language for the season that I'm in, I'll tell you what a divine reset feels like over in this corner of the earth, okay? So it looks like God literally shaking up things to where they don't work anymore. They don't work anymore. Cars stop working, devices stop working, y'all. This is my phone, and you probably can't tell, but it's like this line. Yeah, there we go. This line going down. I dropped my phone recently, and it has this line that will not go away. And the crazy thing is, I bought new phones months ago, but I never changed it because I'm like, oh, I don't think it was a newer phone, but I didn't get as much storage on the phone. And I was like, oh, that's too much. I'm not about to delete all these things. So it caused me to delay just leaning into a new season and a new thing that God wanted to give me. But no, I wanted to hold on to these things. Reset looks like you coming back and circling the block on things that you used to do, but you get to do it differently. Reset looks like relationships maybe getting a little different, feeling different, and you having to address things that probably needed to be addressed a long time ago. A reset looks like God just really doing a new thing, but with current things in your life. And you probably like, what? It looks like your current car being broken, but it gets fixed and it's better than it was before. You didn't necessarily get a new car, but the car is functioning better than it was before. For me, in my home, there are things that we wanted to do in our house. I wanted my bathroom to be painted a different color. We wanted to repair a couple of floors that got wilted from our previous homeowner. And y'all, even though these tragic things happen, literally my home is gonna look better than it was before, but I didn't get a new house. It's just better than it was before in my current situation. So if you feel like God is doing things and moving things in your life, you're not necessarily transitioning on to a new thing, but it is getting better and it's different than it was before, then you're probably in a divine reset. And I want to share with you some lessons that I've learned while I've been in this crazy time. Number one, when you're in a divine reset, you literally have to throw away old mindsets because they won't fit into the new season. So how you thought about yourself, your identity, how you thought about certain people, participating and interacting with them, you got to change that. Those old hurts and those old traumas, you got to say, hey, either I'm going to forgive them, I'm going to acknowledge and have the conversations instead of making the assumptions, or I'm just going to keep doing what I was and operating how I was. But what you're gonna find is that you're so agitated because it's like, I can't even operate like I used to anymore. There's a tension, like things are clashing and it doesn't feel good anymore. In previous seasons, I can just dust things under the rug, but this season I can't. In previous seasons, I could say, oh, I'm not fit for this, I'm not good enough for this. But in this season, you know that like in order for you to operate at your best, you have to think about yourself differently. You have to think about your situation differently. You have to believe that God is going to move on your behalf. And if you try to carry in those negative mindsets that you had before, they are not going to carry you well into the next place. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to flunk. So that is a big lesson that I've learned in this reset, is that, honey, you have to change your mind. Even though nothing looks like it has changed, literally everything has changed if you can perceive the new thing that God is doing. But he's doing that new thing in you internally. And if you can show up differently, you're going to have a different impact going into this new season. Number two, you have to evaluate and even reevaluate your current circle, because who is around you will determine where you're going. Okay, now this is important. I've realized that it's important to know, yes, who's on your side, who's for you, but where are they going in life? Where are you both going in life? And if it is not a relationship that's propelling you towards goodness, towards purpose, towards pruning, towards being better, you might want to evaluate if this is a good relationship. Is this person helping me and pushing me towards my destiny, or into something detrimental? Have I not resolved a thing within my heart concerning maybe an offense that I may have had concerning this person? Now is the time to address that, because I just believe that God really cares about who we're connected to as we're going into this next place, because we need to be encouraged. We don't know what this new season is going to look like, but we know that we need to be focused wherever we're about to go. And if you have destiny distractions around you in the form of people and relationships that aren't serving you well, you want to reevaluate if you want to keep moving forward in those type of relationships. I've had to have tough conversations with multiple friends. I had to take a step back and say, you know what, I want to engage with you at this level, but no longer at this level, and that's okay. But it's important that you really craft out who's in my circle, who's on my side, and how can we best move forward. Number 3, you have to get rid of a lot of baggage, trash, and clutter. Okay, so as my house needed to get restored and the floors needed to get repaired, we literally had to move all of our furniture off of our first floor. So that meant our furniture either going upstairs, we had to take pantry items maybe to the garage, dining room tables, decor, all those things had to be taken out. And I recognized that, hey, it's a lot of trash out here. If you actually want to reset, you don't want to bring in all this old stuff from a previous time. Once God starts settling things and making it right, making it look good, and just bringing newness to a place, you want to get rid of all of that trash. And so it may take some time to get rid of the baggage, and that's baggage physically and decluttering your home, but also decluttering your heart. There are things that you may have been holding on into your heart that you really need to let go. You need to give it back to the Lord. You need to forgive. You need to turn the other cheek. You need to decide to do something, because I guarantee you, when you're going to your next, you don't want to take that old stuff. I'm telling y'all, you don't want to take old stuff into this new place, because it's not going to serve you well. It's going to feel like, if you do this, if you take the old thing into the new thing, it's going to feel like you never even got a new thing in the beginning. You're going to end up more frustrated because you thought that the new was going to be better, yet and still you took old into a new place and you're still experiencing those things. As the Bible tells us, it's like you can't put old wine into new wineskins. It's going to burst. It's going to break. And you are the person that's probably going to break in that process. Number 4, when you're in a time of a divine reset, things that were broken need to be fixed. If your heart was broken, come closer. If your heart was broken in a relationship, in friendship, in a career, whatever it may be, you need to take that back to the Lord, because His desire is for you to operate in wholeness. For me, if my car is janky, the engine light is on, there's only so many miles you're gonna go before that thing decides to break down. And you don't want to be the person that breaks down. You don't want to have your things around you break down because you neglected getting things repaired. And God desires us not to show up in fragmented pieces, but whole ourselves, not having to hide different parts of us around certain people or in certain spaces, but to be our whole selves. So if there are areas of you know is broken, relationships with your parents or whatever it may be, now is the time to amend those things, restore those things back to health, and whatever that looks like. But I know that God's will isn't for you to continue to walk on in brokenness. And number 5, when you've been in a time of divine reset, I guarantee you with all my heart, the restoration will be far better than you could have ever imagined. Okay, I know it feels hard dealing with these things, throwing things away, trying to fix what was broken. But what I realize is that God wants more for me. He wants me to have a better phone. And that's why calamity and silly things like me dropping it, I done had this phone for so long. I've also had the new phones for a while. And He's like, how long will you try to fight your way with the old? Why can't you just receive the new? Because I have something better for you. I have a better quality camera for you. I have a better floor arrangement for you. I have a better engine for your car. Don't neglect the things that need to be fixed, because there is better on the other side. One of my favorite quotes from Ecclesiastes says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. So if your year started off rough, honey, by the end of it, it's going to get better if you believe that. And it's our faith that pleases God. He smiles when we say, God, this is hard, but I believe you're going to turn it around. God, I don't want to go through this, but I know that you're with me, and I know that wholeness is on the other side of it, and that is your will. God, I don't know how I'm going to be able to have this conversation, but Lord, I trust that you're with me, and I know that reconciliation is for the ministry of your children. You've called us to reconciliation, so I trust that you're with me, and you're going to do that thing. So I know this was a little bit longer than I had planned, but I pray you all are encouraged. If you are going through a divine reset like I am, lean into that thing, because God is trying to do a new thing in your entire life. There is no part of my life that has not been untouched in this reset. And I'm like, Lord, if there's any other stones that need to be touched, don't let me leave this season with no stone unturned, okay? Because I want you to do the full work, complete the work, because this is hard work right here. But I trust that after this is going to be so much greater. So that's my encouragement to you. Lean into the process. It may hurt, but I promise you it is for your good, because all things work together for the good of those who love you and that are called according to your purpose. I want to leave you with another scripture that I read recently in 1 Peter 4. 1 Peter 4:19, King James Version says, Beloved, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened to you. But rejoice to the extent that you partake of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory is revealed, you may also be glad with exceeding joy. We are about to be glad with exceeding joy. I know some of you have not experienced joy in a very long time, and I can relate to that. I can. And I know in a lot of seasons it has felt very depressing. It has felt very sad, very weighty. But the other side of this is gladness with exceeding joy. So cheers to a new season of joy. I love you, and I'll see you on the other side of this. Bye.